On August 5th, 2015, a day that would forever change the lives of Tarun and Rocky Pand, the couple rushed into the emergency room of a hospital, desperately clutching their son, Chaitanya, who had fallen in the bathroom. The scene was nothing short of terrifying. Doctors rushed to assess the situation, working with urgency to stabilize him. But despite all their efforts, the news was grim. The young boy was already gone. This was the moment their world shattered as they were told the devastating news. Chaitanya's death wasn't due to a bathroom slip. The doctor suggested that there was something more sinister at play, something that couldn't be ignored. As they spoke to the parents, a junior doctor approached them with grave news. The situation had already escalated into something that no one could have imagined. There were suspicions of foul play. But who could have harmed this innocent boy? And why? The truth behind the death was far more horrific than anyone could have anticipated. But before we reveal the dark details, let's take you back to where it all began. A once happy family filled with dreams and hopes, now facing unimaginable loss and suspicion. Tarun Pand was a well-settled man, working a stable job in Pune, Maharashtra. His life was everything he could have hoped for. He had a secure income, a loving wife, and a growing family. In the year 2000, he married Rocky, a beautiful woman from Nagpur. Their marriage was arranged by their families, yet from the first moment he saw her, it felt like fate had woven their paths together. Rocky was everything he wanted in a partner, loving, supportive, and warm. The couple shared many beautiful moments together, their life full of happiness and optimism. In 2002, their joy multiplied with the birth of their first child, Chaitanya. Their baby boy brought a sense of completeness to their lives. They named him Chitan, and every milestone he achieved became a treasured moment. His giggles filled the house with joy, and his innocent smile melted the hearts of everyone who knew him. Tarun and Rocky were more than just parents. They were completely devoted to their son. However, as the years passed, the happiness of parenthood began to change. While most parents watched their children develop and grow with enthusiasm and energy, Chaitanya's progress wasn't quite as expected. He didn't show the same interest in running, playing, or talking as other children his age. This began to worry Rocky and Tarun. They noticed the difference in his behavior, but couldn't pinpoint exactly what was wrong. When Chaitan was about 2 years old, they took him to the doctor, hoping to discover that this was simply a phase. Unfortunately, the news was devastating. The doctor diagnosed Chaitanya with mental disabilities, explaining that while his body would grow and age normally, his cognitive abilities would always remain at the level of a young child. Rocky and Tarun were devastated. It was a reality they never expected to face. Their dreams for Chaitan, dreams of seeing him become independent, go to school, and live a full life, began to feel distant. But amidst their pain, one thing became clear. They would never treat Chaitan as anything less than their son. Years went by, and as Chaitan grew older, it became evident that his needs were different from other children's. He remained sweet and innocent, but he struggled with basic concepts that other kids mastered quickly. Rocky and Tarun poured everything into helping him. They never allowed his disability to define him. He was their son, and nothing could change the depth of their love. However, the stress began to take its toll on their relationship. Over the years, the arguments became more frequent. What once was a beautiful marriage was now filled with tension, small fights escalating into larger arguments. Rocky would often leave the house in frustration, only to return later after Tarun convinced her for Chaitan's sake. But soon it became clear that they couldn't go on this way forever. By 2014, Tarun and Rocky's marriage had deteriorated, and they both knew that they needed a change. The emotional strain led to the decision to get a divorce. Rocky, in the midst of this emotional turmoil, made a shocking demand, 25 lakh rupees, roughly $30,000, as alimony. Tarun was stunned. He couldn't afford that amount, and his financial situation was already under strain. He tried to explain to Rocky that it was simply impossible to meet her demands, but she wouldn't back down. The tension between them deepened, and the situation seemed to only get worse. As the legal proceedings continued, another shocking development occurred. Rocky filed for custody of Chaitan, requesting that their son live with her. Despite Tarun's objections, the court sided with her, and soon, Chaitan moved into a rented flat with his mother in Pune. Rocky's financial troubles didn't end there. She made another bold demand. She wanted to be named the beneficiary of Chaitan's insurance policy. This policy had been taken out by Tarun years ago, and it was worth 25 lakh rupees. This demand left Tarun feeling completely overwhelmed. He was struggling to cope emotionally and financially with the divorce, and now, with this new request, he was beginning to feel like there was no way out. But little did he know, something darker was brewing behind the scenes. On the afternoon of August 5th, 2015, something devastating occurred. The quiet of the neighborhood was shattered by the sound of loud cries. Neighbors rushed to Rocky's apartment only to be met with an unimaginable scene. Chaitanya was lying lifeless on the cold bathroom floor, with blood staining the tiles. Rocky's face was filled with disbelief and horror as she stood in the doorway. She explained that she had found Chaitan in the bathroom, having apparently slipped and hit his head. But the truth was far more sinister. Neighbors rushed Chaitan to the hospital, but by the time Tarun arrived, it was too late. The doctors, after performing an initial examination, informed the police that they had found evidence suggesting that Chaitan's death was not an accident. There were multiple blunt force injuries on his body, something that couldn't be explained by a simple fall. Rocky was devastated by the news, but the authorities were not so easily convinced. As the police began their investigation, they had discovered that Chaitanya's injuries didn't align with the story that Rocky had told. Her claim that Chaitan had slipped and fallen didn't hold up under scrutiny. Eventually, after hours of questioning, Rocky broke down and admitted the shocking truth. She confessed that on that tragic day, she had killed her son. The story she had told about the bathroom accident was a lie. She had beaten him to death with a bat that was kept in the house. Her emotions were raw as she explained that it had been an act done out of desperation. She claimed that Chaitan had acted aggressively, and that in a moment of fear, she had lashed out in self-defense. Rocky's story began to unravel as the police pressed for more details. She admitted that she had been under intense pressure with her marriage falling apart and a new relationship forming with a landlord. She and the landlord had conspired to kill Chaitanya, believing that his death would provide them with the insurance money, which they could then use to start a new life together. As the investigation continued, the police interviewed neighbors who had long suspected that something was wrong in the home. They revealed that Rocky had been abusive toward Chaitanya for years. Neighbors described how they had often heard his cries, and how Rocky would lock him in the house alone for hours. Despite their concern, no one had ever spoken out, because of fear. Rocky had threatened those who tried to intervene, warning them that she would make false accusations of harassment. Further testimony from Rocky's own mother confirmed the cruelty of her daughter. She revealed that she had witnessed firsthand the way Rocky treated Chaitanya, even attempting to take him away in order to protect him, but she had been threatened and left powerless. The investigation eventually revealed that Rocky's actions were driven by greed and desperation. She and her lover had planned Chaitanya's murder for months. They believed that the insurance payout would be their ticket to a better life. The case went to trial, and after months of legal proceedings, on November 2, 2018, the Pune Sessions Court found Rocky guilty of the murder of her own son. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison. This case stands as a tragic reminder of the destructive power of greed, anger, and broken relationships. It's a stark warning of how the innocent can fall victim to those who should love and protect them the most. What are your thoughts on this shocking case? Do you believe Rocky's confession, or do you think there's more to the story? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more cases like this one.